Beautiful May Day. I don't know, everyone experienced varying kinds of rain through yesterday and last night, but I knew today was going to be beautiful. It's May 1st. It's May 1st, and from the Song of Solomon, the flowers appear on the earth. The time of singing has come. Good morning, good morning. Well, May Day. I had fun figuring this out this week. Do you remember in grade school making May baskets? I do. I don't know if they still do that. Now, we're not going to do a maypole today. Just like I didn't ride in on the donkey, we're not doing a maypole either. But you know, I was looking it up. May Day, well, it comes from a pagan ceremony. It's celebrating spring. It's the exact halfway point in between the spring equinox and the summer solstice. And, you know, I know we're just all starting to look forward to summer. So, and then the flowers, man, I was at Good Earth. Russ told me about another nursery. These flowers abound. And we're going to be making May baskets today. So I hope you'll stay and enjoy the potluck and the laughter. We'll do laughter yoga. It's just really going to be a fun day. And we have our wonderful friend, Susan Julie Gonzalez, hadn't been here in a couple of years. She was one of the last people to speak before we shut down for COVID. So I am so pleased to see her. Susan, let's light this candle together in friendship. Okay. And we light this for our friendship and for everyone who's here. Feel the light inside of you, Christ in you, the hope of glory.
Yes, and for those that aren't here, that we think about in the world, that this light shines on.
I just love what it is. How are you doing? What insightful things can you share with us? Or has it just been, you've just been doing your best in Hot Springs?
Well, hopefully I'm doing my best, right? Show up the best way that we can. All the time, no matter the appearance, Jeannie, no matter the appearance.
That's right.
We're all doing our best, and sometimes it may not look like it, but it's my best for today.
Susan, she just goes there. So I asked her today if she would give us the prayer first day to open us in prayer.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. And so if you'll just take a minute, a moment of breath, this thing that we call the breath of life. Just breathe it in and exhale. Breathing it in and exhaling. And in this next breath in together, knowing that we're breathing the same breath, that there's only one of it, no matter where we are in the world. Just breathing it in. The breath of life, the breath of spirit, the breath of the divine that sustains and maintains the body temple and this experience in life that we're having. And I give thanks. I give thanks for this opportunity to be here, knowing that every aspect of life is divinely orchestrated. That is this thing that we are being that is bringing to us that experience of life. And I claim and affirm that this experience of life that we're having right here and right now is in the highest and most holy good, in the highest and most holy good for ourselves and for all concerned. That we are in the awareness that we are life expressing itself. That we are this thing wanting to give more of itself. And I claim and affirm that this time together brings joy, brings the awareness of our collective joy. And our oneness with the divine essence and presence that is God, knowing that in all, through all, as all is this divine spirit, that there is no separation, no matter the appearance. No matter the appearance that we have two physical body temples standing here with you. Jeannie just sat down, but there's that each and every one of us is a unit of the divine. And that we're connected, just as this breath connects us, that invisible life force energy connects us all together. And I give thanks for this time together. I give thanks knowing that this is truly a divine appointment. And I give thanks. I give thanks for the love, the blessing, the joy that is in this very room. And for all who are listening. In this very space and time, moment in time, I give thanks. And I let go and I let God, knowing that this is a divine moment and a divine opportunity. And so it is. Amen.
Amen. I almost felt like Susan Straight Man there for a minute. You're walking into your good stuff. And thank you so much. So, today is about friendship, laughter, love, and joy. And I know I made some calls, and I know we're sort of wanting everyone to maybe start bringing in friends and join us when we have special days like today. And I knew that this was just a beginning, and we put this consciousness out there, and we grow with this, bringing people in and letting new friends enjoy unity. And of course, we're going to have laughter, a lot of love, a lot of joy, a lot of food. So, well, I started this morning, I was reminded of the Book of Joy. And it was written by Douglas Abram about a meeting that the Dalai Lama and Archbishop Tutu had. And my God, they were best friends. Look at that. Look at the delight in those friends. And they teased each other, and it was just marvelous. Now, I didn't share, friends also share tears and losses and sadness too. And I don't have pictures of that. These two are they're just happy. they're in joy, as we would say. And I wanted to give you two examples of the conversations that went on for this weekend that they had. And it shows what they felt about friendship and how they could banter with each other, much like Susan and I did. We'll have to do more of that. That was fun.
Yes.
But the Dalai Lama was talking to Archbishop Tutu before lunch. And he said, I love food. Without food, my body can't survive. You also, he said, turning to Archbishop Tutu, you can't just think God, 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 and I cannot just think compassion, compassion, compassion. Compassion will not fill my stomach. But you see, each meal we have to develop the ability to consume the meal without attachment. You get those first couple of bites, and you think, this is so delicious. And then you keep eating, and often we get that one extra bite that's too much. We get kind of attached to that food and that flavor. But the Archbishop said, He asked, not quite following how the Dalai Lama was using the Buddhist term attachment, because remember, he comes from a different tradition. And perhaps he can't follow anyone who could not be attached to one's food. Archbishop Tutu evidently loved to eat. But the Dalai Lama said, well, it's not eating out of greed, eating only for the survival of the body. One must think about the deeper level of nourishment for the body. It's nourishment, and what we really are seeking is to be fulfilled. What characterizes happiness at this deeper level is the sense of fulfillment that you experience with these beautiful feasts and food and what we lay out. While the joy of the senses is brief, the joy of this deeper level is much longer lasting. That's what true joy is. Well, Douglas Abrams, who was the author of this book, shared a researcher's description of the happy brain. And I've been working a lot with Sarah Payton, so I'm getting this idea of how neurobiology plays into our resonance and our happiness. And he says the happy brain has compassion, cooperation, generosity, and presence. That's friendship, right there, to me. And it's Now, Archbishop Tutu added, well, we are wired to be caring for the other and generous to one another. Show you this slide. We shrivel when we are not able to interact. I mean, that is part of the reason why solitary confinement is such a horrendous punishment. We depend on the other in order for us to be fully who we are. I didn't know that I was going to come so soon to the concept that we have at home, the concept of Ubuntu. It says, a person is a person through other persons. Ubuntu says, when I have a small piece of bread, it is for my benefit that I share it with you. Because after all, none of us came into the world on our own. We needed two people to be in the world, and we needed others to learn how to be in the world. So this notion of Ubuntu, a South African philosophy. Now another person that wrote on friendship, and I just got to review this book this weekend. It's Anam Cara by John O'Donohue. And he was the Catholic priest in Ireland, and he's no longer with us. But he left such beautiful works like his Blessings and this work. And Anam Cara, it's a person with whom you can share your deepest thoughts, feelings, and dreams. It is your soul friend. Anam means soul, and Cara, friend. A soul friend. Now, the Celtic personality is so interesting to look at, and that's part of the beauty of this book, because you understand, wow, Celtics were just sort of lunatics all along, because they brought a sublime unity of life and experience to expression. They loved nature. The Celtic mind was not burdened by dualism. It did not separate what belongs together. There was a recognition and awakening of the ancient belonging between two friends. Since the birth of the human heart is an ongoing process, love is the continuous birth of creativity within and between us. So friendship is something that we're just in this world to experience. Now, patience is required to develop friendship, because a lot of us would wish for a friendship to develop rapidly, but friendship does not. It really, I mean, you might instantly hit it off with somebody, but it just takes time to really get into that depth of the friendship. I'm sitting here thinking of this, Susan.
Yes, I was thinking of
Yes, we have known each other for years.
Yes.
And I can look out here and, oh, you all are all so special to me. But it's through the years that this friendship deepens. You know, friendship is the grace that warms and sweetens our lives. It's way beyond what social media does with likes and dislikes. In fact, the ancients viewed friendship as the crown of life, the fulfillment, there's that word fulfillment again, of all that is most distinctively human. Moderns, all too often, assess its value primarily in terms of its usefulness for achieving material ends. We make it transactional, if you think about it. Or we minimize the friendship by I'll just hang out with my friends, I'll just do something with my friends. But what we really want is an authenticity that we long for in friendship. So, let's think of a much more personal way to interact. Not just in the anonymity of Twitter and social media and so forth, but it's how can we greet each other? Well, do you know what? That O'Donohue says that in the Celtic language there's not a word for hello, because the greeting that they always give each other is a blessing. In fact, any encounter they have with a person, it begins and ends with a blessing, like, may the Lord be with you, or God be with you. And of course, they're Catholic. God and Mary be with you. And then as the person is leaving, God keep you. You know, it's a blessing. That's a really different way to look at that. So that ritual is encountered. It's framed by blessing. They're regularly in the Gaelic conversation. There is a recognition of the divine presence in one another. See, they're unitics. This presence is also recognized, embodied in old sayings like, the hand of the stranger is the hand of God. Well, in the South we say, bless your heart. Well, we don't always, sometimes we're kind of a little sarcastic about that. But you know what, we could start bringing that back in a more sincere way if we wanted to. Now, the other thing is we greet each other. Do we see each other? Do we really see each other? Because that is one of the universal needs. We know this in NBC, to be seen. It is so important, you know, to be seen and to be heard, really. And I think about it, a lot of times people are acting out, but they're just begging to be seen and heard, you know. It's kind of like the child, but then adults do it in a little bit different way than the little child that acts out. Now, we all know that story of Narcissus. You know, he fell in love with himself, looked at himself in the pool, and that was a ridiculous story. But the thing is, unfortunately, there's no mirror in the world where we can catch a glimpse of our soul, or even ourselves. Because if you think about it, so you look at it, I have to look in the mirror to see the back of my head these days, but I can only see the back. I'm not looking at the front now, you know. I mean, we can't completely see ourselves. And if so we never can be visually present to ourselves. The one you love, your Anunkara, your best friend, your soul friend, that is the truest mirror of who you are. That's what it takes for us to be seen. We need that reflection in another. Y'all, truth is in relationship. It's not in objects. The truth is in the relationship. And we see that in just the art of thought that comes from the course of love. So we receive the beauty of something like a rainbow or a sunset, and then we give it back. You know, God, well, it's not a person, but it's just that idea of our experience is giving back to the universe. It's letting everyone know, oh, it really is beautiful. It is a beautiful experience. And so with friends, we are the mirrors for each other. We hold, you know, you can be so hard on yourself, but what we hold that, I don't want to say this, when I see a little triumph that maybe my friend doesn't see, I see a change in her that she doesn't see, we're holding that, and we get to reflect that back to them. You know, so our friendships are crucial for our inner growth and our expansion. But now, another aspect for ourselves, yes, we need to love and have friends, but we also need to love ourselves. We always know, love your neighbor as you love yourself. As you love yourself. And this is not a question of forcing you to love yourself. It's more a question of exercising reserve, of inviting the wellspring of love. The wellspring of love. So just take a moment and exercise this reserve. Focus on the well at the root of your soul. You can tap down in, deep within, and this wellspring, imagine a nourishing stream of belonging and ease and peace and delight. deep down in. Feel with your visual imagination the refreshing waters of that well as it gradually flows up through maybe what is the arid earth of places you've neglected or things that are hurting. Dig deep into that well. As I was reading this, Donahue suggests that as you go to sleep at night, do this little exercise. Remember the wellspring. He said, you will wake up so refreshed. Wow. Donahue also asked us to celebrate our differences. With friendship, there's togetherness, but we don't have to be twinsies. You know, we don't have to do that. We are individualized expressions of God. And so while we're mirroring each other, that is happening, but we're also appreciating these differences. As Khalil Gibran said, let there be spaces in your togetherness. Let the winds of the heaven dance between you. Allow for those spaces. So, in friendship, we want to belong. We want to be seen. We want to have the space for our differences to appreciate them. Now, there's a place where we can kind of see all this. It's the human face. This was an interesting part of the book for me, because I never had thought of this that much. The human face, an artistic achievement. Think of the expressions. Think about maybe the only way we connected during COVID was with faces on Zoom. I really had to learn to make that connection, but I do it. I mean, I really feel it. You know, there were times when maybe not, but I just really leaned into that because I said, this is what is here now, and I want to see if I can connect. And then if you think of all the expressions that a face wears, it's like, okay, you know, I'm clothed, but my face is naked except for in COVID. We did wear masks, I get that. And actually, wasn't that frustrating, wearing those masks in COVID? You know, first of all, I couldn't read lips, and that was funny, but you didn't fully get a person's expression. Now, you may have gotten their eyes. You know, we could see things going on in the eyes. We had to readjust there, but we could hide behind those masks. Good grief, I know I went to the store where I'm not worrying about makeup, I can tell you that. So I don't know, so sometimes that works, but when we truly gaze at each other and see the face, it carries a mystery. It's an exposure point of the mystery of individual life. And you know, I can look at Travis, I don't know everything that's going on. You know, I know some things, but behind that face is this infinite possibility and mystery, you know. So it is so interesting. It is where the private inner world of a person protrudes out into this anonymous world. So, and I've done exercises, I don't know if you all have. It's hard to gaze at people. I know it makes people feel uncomfortable, but like in the life program, there was a session near the end where we went around the room and we just stopped with each person and just looked at them, really, really looked at them, and it said, I see you, do you see me? And the other person says, you are seen. And just that gaze, that was so deep, such a face, the eye, something so precious right in front front of me. And there's a poem, John of the Cross, an ancient poem. He said, when you looked at me, your eyes imprinted your grace in me. For this you loved me ardently, and thus my eyes deserve to adore what they beheld in you. Let us go forth to behold ourselves in your beauty. This gazing, this moment of sharing. The wise man says, a friend is medicine for life. What a striking metaphor that is. I love that. Medicine for life. No remedy is more powerful, effective, and distinctive in everything that fills this life than to have someone to share your every loss with compassion and your every gain with celebration and congratulation. Isn't it fun when something good happens? You want to share it with the best friend. You need the shoulder to cry on. We really need friendship. Hence, shoulder to shoulder, according to Paul, friends carried each other's burdens. And, going back a little bit to the neurobiology, there's a condition in our world that Sarah Pagan calls alarmed aloneness. It's at the basis of a lot of panic and grief in people. And what it does is it robs us of our oxytocin, and that oxytocin is what's needed in the care circuit to mitigate things like rage. So our world sometimes is feeling kind of mean these days. And I think a lot of it is that people are alone. They're not feeling, they're not getting the connection and the friendship that they need. This alarmed aloneness is so important. Now here at Unity in Little Rock, well, that is why I want to rebuild our community. I want us to get together. Okay, so we're not full today, but it's got to come. And we hope to plan things that are worth coming together for. Because I see a welcoming community of friendship in a very, very spiritual sense. It's a love and knowing of spirit in one another. And so today we celebrate friendship and love with laughter and play and good food. Rise and relax again. Imagine a light all around you. We started lighting the Christ light in friendship. Imagine the light of your soul. Then with your breath, draw that light into your body and heart. Feel it light up all the cells, all the energy. And bring it with your breath through every area of your body. On the exhale, release any darkness or heaviness. Breathe in love for yourself, light for yourself. Breathe out, enfold the world in love. Share it and shine. This little light of mine, let it shine. I'm going to read a blessing from John O'Donohue. May you be blessed with good friends. May you learn to be a good friend to yourself. May you be able to journey to that place in your soul where there is great love and warmth and feeling and forgiveness. May this change you. May it transfigure that which is negative and distant or cold in you. May you be brought into the real passion, kindness, and belonging. Feel the embrace of belonging. May you treasure your friends. May you be good to them, and may you be there for them. And then you receive all the blessings, challenges, truth, and light that you need for your own journey. May you never be isolated, but know the embrace of your Anam Kara. And we'll stand together. We'll say our prayer of protection, and I'll do it in kind of a calm fashion. The light of God surrounds us.